Live coding. Good afternoon. Welcome to VANIK-IAS. We'll discuss current affair of 6th June. And first question. First, we'll discuss objective questions. Then mains topic. Consider the following statements with reference to recently released National Achievement Survey. Recently released National Achievement Survey. First, NIS is a periodic exercise carried out every year to monitor the health of the country's school education system. No, it is not carried out every year. So, first statement is wrong. It was carried out in 2017, then in 2021. So, this is uh, not carried out every year. So, the past is wrong. Sorry. Okay. So, first statement will be wrong as it is not carried out every year. Initially, the survey conducted under Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Recently, it was brought under NCRT as an independent project. No, it was not conducted by Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. It was conducted by CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education. Central Board of Secondary Education conducted in 2021. Right, and NCRT also participated. It designed the assessment framework and tools. NCRT designed the asset assessment framework and the tools for the National Achievement Survey (NIS). Right, it is a nationwide sample-based education survey. Right, it is conducted across India by Ministry of Education, and another thing is the relevant of this NAS is to study the educational standard of the students, right? So here both the answer B is the answer. Neither one nor two are the answers. Next question. With reference to Companies Act 2013, consider the following statement. For the first time, Companies Act 2013 defined a not-for-profit company under Section 25. Yes, non-for-profit company. This is also defined in Companies Act 2013. Not-for-profit company. So this is right. Next, corporate social responsibility is mandatory under Companies Act 2013. Yes, CSR means corporate social responsibility means 2% of the benefits of a company should go to the people who are staying within 7 kilometer radius of a particular company, right, nearby its periphery. That means for the peripheral development, especially for this, for example, in this area there is a industry, so there should be 2% of the profits of the company should be spent for the development of the periphery, because they are the persons who suffer the most. For example, in case of environmental degradation or in case of your rise in temperature, dust, all these things, they suffer more, and various toxic gases. So those people, as they suffer the most, and there should be certain, uh, that's why the company must pay 2% of its annual profit for the development of the peripheral area. So both the options 1 and 2 are right here. Consider question number 3. Consider the following reference with reference to International Liquid Mirror Telescope. International Liquid Mirror Telescope, recently it was commissioned in India. It is a fast time liquid mirror telescope has been developed. It is fast time for India, not for the world. So fast statement is wrong, right? It is the first liquid mirror telescope for India, right? Okay. It is the only one having been developed in the astronomical research. Yes, it will work in the field of astronomy. It is developed in Devastal, right? Devastal, Uttarakhand. Devastal. It is developed at Devastal, right? It is. It will observe asteroids, supernovas, space debris, all these things that will be observed from the Himalayas, and this is the first of India, right? Next. So here two option will be the two only is the right answer. Then question number 4. Which of the following is not among the treaties commonly referred as to the five nation treaties in outer space? Here there is nothing like low Earth orbit treaty. Remember, there is nothing like low Earth orbit treaty. So B is the answer. Low Earth orbit is the area around Earth, right? Suppose this is Earth. Suppose this is Earth, and up to 180 kilometer to 2000 kilometer, 180 kilometer, 2000 kilometer range is low Earth orbit. There is nothing like low Earth orbit. Remember, this International Space Station, they are placed in low Earth orbit. Between 180 kilometer to 2000 kilometer is the area that is called as low Earth orbit. From 2000 kilometer to 35,790 kilometer, that is called as medium Earth orbit. And after that, there is geosynchronous orbit. Recently, Nagorno-Karabakh enclave is in news. It is a conflicting area between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Nagorno-Karabakh, it is the conflict region between Azerbaijan and Armenia. The conflict region between Argentina and UK is Falkland Island, right? There is East Falkland Island and West Falkland Island in the Atlantic Sea. They are the conflict region between the Argentina and UK. There is conflict region between India and Nepal are Kalapani, Limpiedura and Lipulekla. Kalapani, Limpiedura and Lipulekla. These are the conflicted area between India and Nepal that are in news. The conflict area between the Russia and Japan is Kuril Islands. Kuril Island just above the South China Sea. There is Kuril Island from the Kamchatka Peninsula to between the Kamchatka Peninsula of Russia and Japan. They are Kuril Island. They are disputed territory between Japan and Russia. So this Karabakh enclave, Nagorno-Karabakh enclave, that is the disputed area between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Consider the following statements with reference to export promotion capital goods EPCG scheme. Export promotion of capital goods EPCG scheme. It was launched by Ministry of Finance. It enables this is not launched by Ministry of Finance. So as export import is promotion is concerned, it is launched by Ministry of Commerce. Right? It is launched by Ministry of Commerce, not by Ministry of Finance. It enables import of capital goods that are used in pre-production, production and post-production without payment of custom duty. Import capital goods that are in capital goods that are used in pre-production, production and post-production without payment of custom duty. That is export promotion capital goods scheme. Right? There is no custom duty for pre-production, production and post-production capital goods. Right? Okay. Next. Recently, Dastangoi tradition. It is a tradition of storytelling. This tradition of storytelling by Urdu. In case of Urdu language, in case of Urdu storytelling, Dasangoi tradition. One or more people are generally they tell a story. Then consider the following statements regarding National Monuments Authority (NMA). National Monuments Authority (NMA). It derives its power from Places of Worship Act 1991. Monuments Authority, no. Places, not. See, there it is written monuments. Why there is worship? Worship is written religious place. Every monument is not a religious place. So this first option is wrong. It's here the incorrect code. So this obviously it is incorrect code. It comes from the Ministry of Culture. Yes, it is comes from the Ministry of Culture. It comes under a special. It is comes under the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act, that is called as AMSAR Act. AMSAR Act. AMSAR Act. Under AMSAR Act, that is Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 2010. I mean 2010. It was amended in 2010 actually. That is the National Monument Authority is established under this act, not under the Places of Worship Act. This is coming under Ministry of Culture. So only is the incorrect answer. Right? So answer is A. The National Achievement Survey. What is National Achievement Survey? Nationwide survey carried out by Union Ministry of Education for a period of 2017-2021. Released recently. Right. For a period of 2017 to 21, NS has done. The NS is a periodic exercise carried out broadly alternate years. In alternate years. Right. To monitor the health of the country's school education system. It has been designed by Ministry of Education along with National Council for Educational Research and Training (NCRT) to provide data of learning outcomes in key subject areas, essentially what students know and can do. And at the end of classes 3, 5, 8 and 10, These classes are generally seen to mark important stages in development of child's cognitive abilities. So, at present time, many of the states, the public education, the public government schools, they are performing underperforming, right? The students who are getting fast out or studying in the government schools in many states of the many areas of the country, they are not able to read and write even the basic English or basic native language. So in such a situation, the performance is very poor. In that line, government is one to assess the development of the students, and Ministry of Education. It is cooperated with national count, that is with NCRT, to provide how to learning outcomes. NCRT especially creates how to assess it, right? Since when NS is carried out, it is carried out since 2001, right? Carried out since 2001. In the beginning, the survey supposed to an independent project of NCRT, right? Independent project of NCRT, but soon it was brought under the ambit of Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, the government flagship program to achieve universalization primary education, which is now subsumed under the overarching Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. That is now subsumed in Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. Right? It was initially it was under NCRT, then it's Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, then Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. That is National Achievement Survey. Over the years, structure of survey has undergone changes between 2001 to 2015. Each cycle of survey covered student just one grade. So student of class 3 are covered in 2003, 7, 12 and 15. Student of class 5 are covered in 2001, uh, 2005, 2009, 2014. Right. So over the structure of survey has got some changes. What is the current structure of the survey in 2017-18? It is a redesigned for the past time student of all four grades are covered. All four grades are covered on the same day. Also, instead of states, districts are under the limit of reporting. That means the performance of students in his district should be reported to the NCRT and the NCRT to access the performance of in the NS survey, leading to a much bigger sample size. Until 2017-18, each cycle of NAS had a sample size of 1 to 2 lakhs students. In 2017-18, over 20 lakh students were covered in the same day. So this time the inclusion of students as much around becomes 10 times, that is increased up to 20 lakhs covered in the same day. The latest 2021 round covered 34 lakh students in 1.1 1.8 lakh schools around 720 rural and urban districts. So the latest one, it has covered around 34 lakh students, so covering almost all the ranges of the students to and participated them in the National Assessment Survey or NAS. What exactly does NSA assess? In 2015-16 survey assessed the competency of students. It based in 2015 it assessed the competency of students based on core curriculum. Based on core curriculum means based on the syllabus by states and union territories. In 2018, focus moved mapping in the progress of learning outcomes. Progress of learning outcomes, mapping the program of learning outcomes as listed under Right to Education rules of 2017. That means ultimately the learning outcomes is to be accessed. That means how much a student gains out of the classroom. That is the learning outcomes that we assessed in 2017-18 NAS. Questions asked by NAS are framed to access whether student can read and can carry out simple mathematical operations that are required in daily life. Right? Simple mathematical operations that are required in daily life. If a student is eligible, that is whether he is eligible or not, that need to be accessed in the NAS. The level of difficulty and complexity of the question vary from grade to another. That means based on their grade, based on their classes, the level of questions varies. That basically focus on day-to-day mathematics that required in daily life. In the higher classes, survey also assess knowledge required to the students areas related to Constitution of India. Related to Constitution of India, they also study to certain extent. They also study the Constitution of India. For example, there is in every book there is fundamental rights. It is mentioned. and so certain extent they read also the president, the prime minister, right? So that's a basic idea regarding Constitution of India that also covered under NAS. The survey covers schools owned by central and union territory governments and government aided schools and private aided schools, that private unaided schools. So almost all types of schools are covered under the National Assessment Survey. Language, mathematics, environmental science are accessed in class 3, 5. Language, math, science, social science class 8. Math, social science, English are accessed in class 10. So these are accessed under NAS survey. Okay, what is NAS 2021? So compared with 2017, 2000 only class 10 students are accessed. Performance has been taken a hit across grades. The comparative analysis shows that national average scores of students have dropped by around up to 47 marks. That means the performance is extremely poor. Right? The performance of 10 students is extremely poor. The major reason is the lockdowns in the pandemic and the no physical education, all digital education was ongoing, and many people, many students they underperform because they do not have digital device to access the e-learning. That's why their marks are reduced. And here we can see that the performance has reduced to a, I mean, we can say a significant extent, or very low, or very poor, or extremely poor marks by up to 47 marks. It was reduced, right? The reason may be the post-pandemic, the pandemic era lockdowns, or lack of electronic device, or lack of focus, or many other things. In class 3, average score of student language math EVS have dropped by 13, 15 and 14%. In class 5, the language we provide 10, 26 and 27 marks. Class 8 national average scores language math science social science came by 5, 14, 24, 23 marks respectively. In class 10 math science social science modern English language scores have dropped by 34, 34, 47, 23 marks respectively. Only the English course has risen by 24 marks. So you can observe that in case of every classes and every subjects, the students are performing much lower than the previous NAS, right? Primarily because of the lack of physical education, or offline education inside the school. One online, in case of online education, is not that much of efficient, and neither they are, I mean, fully they can be, I mean, complementary to the, neither they are replace, I mean, the neither the online education can cope up with the offline education. They do not produce that much of result like offline education. Are there regional gender and community wise variations? Except Punjab and Rajasthan, performance of nearly all states have declined compared to 2017 levels. Right, performance of all states except Punjab and Rajasthan, performance of all states has declined. Right. So in terms of 2021 numbers, 14 states and 4 UTs performed below the national average in class 3. 4 UTs and 18 states performed below the national average class 5. 16 states and 3 UTs performed below the national average in class 8. There are no marked difference between the scores of boys and girls. There are some variations among the communities. There is no gender variation between the boys and girls in the performance of as performance is concerned, but there is some variation in the communities. That means various students, those who belong to backward classes, or scheduled tribes, or scheduled caste, or general, there is slight difference regarding communities, right? As it is observed. So let's discuss some prelim facts. Liquid mirror telescope. Liquid mirror telescope. We'll discuss liquid mirror telescope. In early 2000, India's first liquid mirror telescope, which has observed asteroid supernova, space debris, other celestial objects from altitude of 2,400 meters in the Himalayas, saw the first light as it pierced into the zenith from the Devastal observatory, Uttarakhand. So, liquid mirror telescope, it is developed at Devastali Observatory in Uttarakhand. It is India's first liquid mirror telescope. Having entered commissioning phase, it becomes world's first liquid mirror telescope to be commissioning for astronomy. Right? It is not world's first liquid mirror telescope. It is the first liquid telescope which is commissioned for astronomy. Right? In the field of astronomy, it is the first liquid mirror telescope. What is liquid mirror telescope? International liquid mirror telescope has been set up by Devastal Observatory campus owned by Aryabhatta Research Institute of Observation Science, ARIS, Nainital, Uttarakhand. The located in 2,450 meters above the mean sea level, there are two seats with this. It is the only one to have developed for astronomy research. It is the only one for its kind to operation anywhere in the world. The handful of liquid telescopes that are previously built either tracked satellites or are deployed for military purposes. ILMT will be the third telescope facility to cover Devastal, one of the world's distant sites for obtaining astronomical observation. So this is not the first liquid telescope. This is first liquid telescope for observation of astronomy. Right. With ILMT set to commence a full scientific operation 2000 October 2022, it will work along with 3.6 meter Devastal Optical Telescope (DOT), the largest telescope operating in India. That is Devastal Optical Telescope, the largest telescope operating in India, also operating at the location of 1.3 meter Devastal Fast Optical Telescope November 2010. How is it different from conventional telescope? A conventional telescope is steered to point towards celestial source of interest in the sky for observation. A liquid, on the other hand, stationary telescope. Liquid mirror telescope are the stationary telescopes that image a strip of the sky which is at a zenith and at a given point of time in the night. So it is so stationary telescope and it takes the image of a strip of the sky. Liquid mirror telescope survey and capture any possible celestial object. That means stars, galaxies, supernova explosion, asteroids. It can telescope survey and capture any of the celestial objects. It is highly powerful. The conventional telescope have highly polished glass mirrors, either single or a combination of curved ones that are steered in a controlled fashion to focus into targeted celestial object on specific nights. The light then reflected into great images. The liquid made of mirrors with reflective liquid. In case of mercury, mercury is used as reflective mirror metal which is high light reflecting capacity. So the mercury liquid that reflects the light and the image of any celestial body can be seen in the liquid mirror telescope. About 50 mirrors or 700 kg of mercury filled into container will be rotated at a fixed constant speed along the vertical axis of the ILMT. During this process, mercury will spread as a thin layer in the container, forming paraboloid-shaped reflecting surface, which will now act as a mirror. Mercury will spread as a thin layer that will act as a reflecting surface. Another difference between two are the operational time. While conventional telescope operates specific stellar sources for fixed hours as per study requirement, time allotted by the respective telescope for the time allotment committee. ILMT will capture skies images on all night. Right? This will capture the skies images on all nights between two successive twilights or next five years starting from 2022. So this will work. This will be operational for next 5 years. For protecting it from moisture during monsoon, ILMT will remain short for the operation between June and August. It will remain short. Okay. Which country has involved in the development? India, Belgium, Canada, India, Belgium, Canada, Poland, Uzbekistan are the main countries who have collaborated to set up the ILMT. The telescope designed built Advanced Mechanical Optical System Corporation. The funding is estimated to be 30 to 40 crore, jointly provided by Canada and Belgium. Operational keep of telescope to be done by India. Along with ARIES, the other international institutions have involved in development process include Institute of Astrophysics, Geophysics, Belgium, right, Canada, all these Uzbekistan, they are developing liquid observatory or liquid telescope. But the data that generated, how it will be used. Estimated the ILMT capable of generating 10 to 15 GB night, capable of generating 10 to 15 GB night of data. Set operations every night during 9 months of a year and next 5 years starting from October 2022. Data will be generated in a gigantic volumes. According to international norms, data generated by a new telescope facility will be cleaned, maintained, and archived on either by host participating institutes or in case of the AS. So, data that will be given by the ILMT will be stored and shared by with the international organizations. Then, what is this D2M technology? Department of Telecommunication of India and Public Service Broadcaster Prasar Bharati are exploring feasibility of technology that allows broadcasting of video and other forms of multimedia content directly to the mobile phones without needing an active internet connection. Right? Without an active internet connection, Department of Telecommunication or point public service broadcaster is considering the feasibility of a technology so that the broadcasting video can be given directly to the mobile phones without any internet connection. The technology is called a direct to mobile D2M broadcasting. Direct to mobile or D2M broadcasting. What is direct to mobile broadcasting? It is based on convergence of broadband broadcast using mobile phones can receive terrestrial digital TV. It will also similar to how people listen to FM radio on their phones, where the receiver within the phone tap into radio frequencies. Using D2M multimedia content can also be beamed to phones directly. Multimedia, that means videos and images, can be given to the sent to a particular phone directly without using of internet. The idea behind the technology is that can possibly used to directly broadcast content into citizen-centric information and can further used to counter fake news, issue emergency alerts, and offer and other assistance in disaster management. So, if such connection develop, that will develop the communication and that will help in various manner regarding disaster management or countering of fake news. That especially in case of public declaration, when there is public awareness on immediate basis is essential. In that case, the direct to mobile broadcasting will be much helpful. What could be the consumer and business impact on this? The consumers technology would mean that they will be able to access multimedia content for a video on demand over the top content platforms without having an exhaust their mobile data. And more importantly, at a nominal rate. Technology will also allow people from rural areas with limited or no internet access to watch video content. So they can also persons can watch also video without internet. So what government is doing regarding the D2M technology to study the feasibility of spectrum band offering broadcast services directly to the smartphones. Public service broadcast Sarvardi last year announced collaboration with IIT Kanpur regarding feasibility of the technology. Right. So various research organization and the government is trying to develop this technology. What are the possible challenges to technology rollout? Bringing the stakeholders like mobile operators on board will be biggest challenge. The launching of D2M technology worldwide. Mass rollout of technology will entail changes in infrastructure and from regulatory changes. Right? So there need to be changes in the infrastructure will also be essential. And there is also some regulatory changes with respect to that regarding the safeguard of privacy. Section 25 company. Section 25 of companies, companies similar what you find under section 18 is not is a not-for-profit charitable company formed the sole object of promoting commerce, art, science, religion, charity, and other useful objects intend to apply profits uh, and interest to apply if its profits, if any, other income on promoting of subject to prohibit the payment of any prohibit the payment of any dividend to its member. So it's a not for profit company. So they cannot take the dividend. Dividend means initially the promoter who invested some amount, that is called as dividend, right? The initial amount which an investor invests in a particular company before it comes to the share market. Section 25 states that by its constitution of the company, it is required to intends to apply its profits if any other income in promoting its objects is prohibited from any dividend to its members. So they are not able to pay any dividend because it's a non-profit company. That means there is no profit. If there is no profit, how can you will pay? Right. Large number of companies have been informed under the section. Among the Reliance Foundation, Reliance Research Institute, Foundation, Coca-Cola India Foundation, Amazon Academic Foundation, all these things are coming under section 8 companies or section 25. Why there is companies formed under section 25 when there is a trust structure in place? Most of the people looking for form charitable entity go for forming a company under section 25. Now section 8 rather than a trust. So sorry, because most of the foreign donors like to contribute a company rather than a trust because they are more transparent and provide more disclosures. Right. So companies they provide more, they are more transparent. That's why people are interested to invest in as a trust in a company rather than the trust. If a company has to convert it into not for profit company, they cannot be converted into a trust. They cannot be converted into a trust. They, right. However, they can be converted into section 25 with section 8 company. Right. That means the company which that is not for profit company, but that cannot be a trust. Okay. So for today the discussion complete here. Like this video, share this video, and subscribe to VANIK-IAS. Thank you. Hello. Sorry, Ramesh.